Put the chicken one back on! Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, Nickelodeon. You know what all these networks have in common? They've all been the subject of countless upon countless videos talking about each and every aspect of their respective platforms, from series to movies and even bumpers to an extent. But however, on the lesser talked about side of animation is Adult Swim. Don't get me wrong, it's massive now with series like Rick and Morty, Primal, and Final Space, a few personal favorites of mine. But back when it just started, it was a much more scrappy counterpart to its sister blocks like Toonami, proving that adults can also enjoy animation just as much as kids. There are a handful of classics that are still revered to this day, and have thankfully all gained cult classic status like Space Ghost Coast to Coast, Home Movies, Venture Brothers, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and so many more. But there exists one series that has been getting much more attention in the past few years, a series that has brought a heap of relatability to its demographic, and is a cult classic like no other. That series being the Adult Swim certified classic, Mission Hill. But what made it so special and revered? Well, join me as I talk about Mission Hill, Adult Swim's forgotten cult classic.
We must start with one basic proposition.
Mission Hill was created by Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein, who at that point were executive producers on The Simpsons. When looking at their portfolios, it actually surprised me that they actually had a hand in quite a few memorable episodes of The Simpsons. I mean, they did episodes like Lisa vs. Malibu Stacy, Sweet Seymour Skinner's Badass Song, Who Shot Mr. Burns, and even 22 short films about Springfield. So when it came to the writing of Mission Hill, it was in safe hands. Anyway, Mission Hill originally premiered on the WB network on September 24th, 1999, but cancelled after only airing 2 episodes with mediocre ratings. Apparently, the 2 episodes that aired were plagued with mediocre ratings due to the episodes being shifted around different time slots, which the creators explained in the Talking Simpsons podcast.
Anyway, so we finally ended up at the WB. And the WB at that time was like, nobody knew what it was. It only had a few shows on. They were shows like there was an exercise show about a gym, and there were a number of different weird shows that were on in this first couple years of the WB before it decided to become the Teenage Girl Network. And we pitched the show to them, and they were like, they loved it, and they immediately bought 13 episodes, and it was the greatest sale of our career. And then the sad story of what happened, as if you may recall, if you're old enough, is that during the time after we sold it, but before it came on the air, it suddenly became the Teenage Girl Network. Buffy suddenly became a huge hit. And they put on a whole bunch of other shows of that type, like Roswell. When our show came on, it was this weird redheaded stepchild that had no place on the network. They still had this weird night of shows for an African-American audience, like Jamie Foxx and Steve Harvey, which also we didn't belong in. And they just stuffed us in there, and we were canceled after 2 episodes. The end.
It was only after Adult Swim snapped the show to air on their network that the series got its small cult following. Originally, the series was going to be titled The Downtowners, but due to MTV having a similarly named show at the time, it was changed to Mission Hill. With some of the origins covered, let's go over the show itself. For those of you who don't know, Mission Hill focuses on the life of failed cartoonist turned waterbed salesman Andy French, as he and his annoying younger brother Kevin French go through the trials and tribulations of living in an urban environment, going through stuff like parties, unemployment, the SATs, love triangles, complicated pasts, and so much more. The show features an array of interesting characters who also occupy the world of Mission Hill, such as Andy's other roommates, the monotone talking, laid-back Jim Cuback, and the more Phoebe from Friends inspired free-spirited Posey. As well as those two, there's Natalie and Carlos Lebowitz, a couple raising a hyperactive baby, and Gus and Wally, a not-so-closeted gay couple. Similar to what I said in my Goofy movie review, all of these characters make the world more fleshed out and lived in, having designs that really stand out, but also in a way that seem very similar to anyone watching. With just one look, a person watching the show could easily point out a person who looks so much like a person that they know in real life, a detail which I admire a lot. The setting of the show is also a pretty colorful one at that. The buildings, neighborhoods, and blocks capture a very pleasing Art Deco or print ad look, hosting a plethora of different colors. They really make the show pop for anyone flipping through channels. The actual characters were designed by Lauren McMullen, whose filmography stems from underrated series like The Critic to more renowned series like The Simpsons, King of the Hill, and even Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Didn't we tried to get her on at the ground floor, didn't we? I remember sending her the first draft of the script.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yes. Yes, because I still have also like some very early like her thoughts that she had on it and stuff. I think we needed her and wanted her from the very beginning, or 2 weeks after coming up with it.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it. Like, I think we sent her stuff from the beginning. I mean, remember she did all the very first drawings. She's the only one who ever did any drawings for Mission Hill, and we had all these discussions. I still have those things. I have those faxes, literally fold yellowed faxes with all the different incarnations of what Andy might look like and what Kevin might look like. So yeah, she was on from the ground floor with this thing. And I think she had already directed episodes of King of the Hill and maybe even Simpsons at that point.
I think she had maybe just done King of the Hill.
She had done Critic and then King of the Hill, and then you guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Critic. Yes, right. That's right.
Yeah. Oh, that's I had heard in another interview, Bill, you say like she's basically a co-creator on it. I think we've after doing this podcast, we've really come to appreciate like her influence on the show much more too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's totally, because also if you look at like the drawings and the official drawings, there's like a signature like a matte graining, but it's WOM, which is Weinstein Oakley McMullen.
Oh, I never know. Oh, that's so cool.
So it's not in everything, but it's just in some things. So, but it was like from the beginning.
Some of the stickers and stuff.
Yeah, it's us three. So
I have to say, out of all the series of Adult Swim, Mission Hill has to have the most interesting and vibrant color palette. Each and every one of the characters have clothing that makes each of them stand out from one another. I just love the way the characters are designed overall, having figures that are totally distinct from any other show back then, and even series that are on today. There are a few episodes that do stand out for me. One being the first episode of the series itself. It focuses on Kevin first moving in with Andy and seeing the hijinks that ensue as Kevin tries to adapt to the ways of living in Mission Hill and trying to act more cool. Seeing the way the two brothers interact is very entertaining. Watching Kevin as a full-on drunk was also actually pretty funny at times, and the ending of the very episode is actually pretty heartwarming.
Hey Andy, this apartment sure spins a lot.
Yeah, tends to do that after a good party.
Another standout pick from me is Unemployed. This ties into the episode before it called Andy Gets a Promotion, and focuses on Andy's life after being fired from Juan's waterbed store. Seeing Andy go through the motions of being unemployed and seeing him find the determination to move towards success was honestly one of the most relatable moments for anyone watching. An overall quality episode.
Who are you?
I'm Jim's assistant, Stacy.
Jim? Has an assistant?
Would you like a cup of coffee?
Yes.
Last episode that comes to mind when I think of Mission Hill is Happy Birthday Kevin, a very emotional episode when compared to the other 13, and probably the most relatable one in my opinion. Having Kevin get a harsh dose of reality makes the episode all the more special when we see the two brothers bond over the memories of their old house. A really good episode.
I'm peeing in the shower. Hey everybody, I'm peeing in the shower.
Of course, there are many more episodes I could list the positives of, but we would be here all day. And unfortunately, with the series only having 13 episodes, it was of course cancelled with no hope of a revival. To be completely honest, I have no idea why it was cancelled. Different videos on the series have explained that it was just too expensive to make or just didn't have enough ratings. We may never know the true answer, but perhaps we don't have to. Recent news popped up about the creators trying to sell a pitch for a Mission Hill spin-off series titled Gus and Wally. While this is a good idea, I'm not all for it. Seeing as how the original series only had 13 episodes, I was kinda also hoping for more seasons because of recent revivals like Clone High. So hearing that we won't get a Mission Hill revival but a spin-off series has me a bit worried for the series. But I guess we'll see. Whether it be the 13 episodes that made it a hit or a potential spin-off series, there's no doubt that Mission Hill has a very special place in the world of adult animation.
So guys, are we going to be roommates?
What?